Hey guys, it's good to be back live. Well, today is Biden's State of the Union address. He's giving that address from DC tonight. Meanwhile, a long convoy of trucks and cars are making their way across America. I've got Josh Yoder, airline pilot, who is a part of the convoy on the line right now. I'm about to bring him up. He's going to give a live look at what the convoy is up to, talk about their message for Joe Biden today on his State of the Union address. So before I get to that, I got to shout out the sponsor of my coverage, which is Noble Gold. If you watch regularly, you know that Noble Gold is one of the sponsors of our coverage. They now have thousands of clients who found the secret of gold and silver for their retirement plan here. And for the month of March, with any qualifying IRA above 20,000, you'll get a 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin or a 5-ounce America the Beautiful silver coin for anything over 50,000. You know what to do. Call 877-646-5347 or find out more by visiting noblegoldinvestment.com. That's linked right down below, noblegoldinvestment.com. And with that being said, I'm going to bring Josh Yoder on the line live from the convoy. Hey, Josh, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hi.
He told me they have bad cell phone service.
You're coming in broken.
Okay, well, we'll do the best we can. Give us a look at the convoy and tell us where you're at. Can you hear me, Josh? So he's obviously there on the convoy route. I think they said they're on their way into Indiana today. Oh, I just lost him. You can see the American flags on that overpass there. We've been seeing that a lot. There seems to be a lot of grassroots support for this convoy, despite a somewhat minuscule media coverage as Ukraine swallows the media attention. I want to show you some photos from the convoy route, and perhaps Josh will be able to get back on. But let me show you. Now, the People's Convoy is quite organized with the help of human rights attorney Lee Dundas. She set up this website so that it can't be, their organizational power can't be dismantled by Facebook. So the peoplesconvoy.org is what it's called. I've linked it down below, and they've been photographing the route here. You can see, you look at that long line of trucks. Huge support. Seemed to be a lot of people. So what happened here with the People's Convoy is they joined forces with Freedom Convoy 2022. And they've got support for Alex Jones's channel. A lot of people across America. They started out in California, and they are now. Let me see where they're at on their schedule here. Indiana. Yeah, Indiana is the goal today, according to the schedule. They're supposed to be heading in to Indiana. Oh, I think he's back on here. Nope, Josh is still not back on. So anyway, it's a pretty big crowd that is making their way across the country. Now, originally, the Freedom Convoy, which got swallowed by People's Convoy, had planned to arrive in D.C. today to send a message to Joe Biden, basically surround D.C. with their trucks. That didn't happen. One of the original organizers of the Freedom Convoy did go to DC anyways, and he has organized a small rally. It looks like it's pretty small though. But guess what? It's, these people organizing this have made a call out to Biden to get rid of the mandates, the cries of this is an emergency, and just get things back to normal. Well, perhaps Biden is listening to the convoy a little bit, because I want to show you this headline: White House dropping mask mandate before Biden's State of the Union. The news comes a day after the Capitol lifted its requirement in time for the address. The White House will no longer require people who have had the needle to wear a face mask on the premises beginning Tuesday, March 1st, the White House official told Fox News. The lifting of the requirement will come just hours before President Biden is set to deliver his first State of the Union address before Congress. And the word is that not even Biden will be wearing a mask as he walks up to give that address. So I want to show you how Fox has been covering the preparations for State of the Union. This is News Now from Fox Now, called Live Now from Fox. When I used to work for Fox, I would go live on this channel quite frequently, actually. So these are my old people, but here's them talking about the truckers convoy and the State of the Union address and what to expect. Word is that the White House has recruited 700 unarmed National Guard members to help out the Capitol Police today, just in case the truckers do something unexpected.
I did want to ask, you mentioned that trucker protest is heading to Washington, D.C. today. How big of a concern is that for Capitol Police and all of the other law enforcement agencies that are working together to, as you know, behind you, putting up fencing and just having a bigger security force there? How big of a concern is this?
I honestly think they're more concerned about the potential impact on travel and traffic around the D.C. area, as opposed to any kind of threat to the Capitol or the president, members of Congress, dignitaries who will be here tonight. They don't want a repeat of what we saw in Ottawa happening here in D.C. But none of these organizations, these trucking groups, have said they're planning to come here and disrupt anything going on in the Capitol itself. One group said they were going to kind of block traffic around the Capitol Beltway. That was last week. That never really materialized. And we're not sure how large the group that's planning their protest down by the Washington Monument, how large that's going to be. I don't think there's really great concern that any of those convoys is going to, really bring things to a standstill here in the nation's capital. But they're prepared, because you just don't know. It's the unexpected that can catch you off guard.
All right, Fox 5, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you see that fence? They've got the fence erected to protect Joe Biden as he gives that address today, because he is just such a popular president. In fact, the most popular president in history, according to vote totals. I'm gonna bring Josh on via cell phone instead, since he wasn't able to join me via video. So Josh Yoder, airline pilot who's participating in the convoy. Hey, Josh, are you there?
Hi, Ivory. How are you doing?
Good. I got you on live. So bad connection, but we saw there was an overpass, people flying American flags on the convoy route. Where are you exactly?
So we're about 30 miles outside of Indianapolis right now. We're an overpass. This is another overpass like we've seen all day long. Every single one packed out with people. This overpass probably has between 200 and 300 people on it. Everyone with flags, dressed in their patriotic gear. Young kids like screaming USA. It's an absolutely amazing sight, and just hundreds and hundreds of trucks, and then not to count the RVs and all the other cars that are with the convoy as well. It's just an incredible sight.
You guys have been doing rallies along the route as well, haven't you?
We have, yes. We've been having rallies almost every night at the marshaling areas. People from the community are showing up. People are driving, as far as 5 and 6 hours away. To come hang out with these truckers and to support them. They've been bringing food and drinks. So many supplies have been loaded onto the trucks for the truckers. Last night we had, just at one donation point, we got almost half of a semi load of food and water and different items.
I think I'm looking at you on stage right now in Missouri last night. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We were in Cuba, Missouri last night. We had a great turnout there. Very enthusiastic people that showed up. Everyone was just there to support. They're here because they love their country and they want to see a change. They want to make a difference. I think the government has really overplayed their hand on this one.
Yeah. So you've got another big rally I saw on the schedule planned in Indianapolis or in somewhere in Indiana tomorrow, right?
Yes, that's correct. People go to thepeoplesconvoy.org. They can see the rally location. It's just on the west side of Indianapolis. It's going to be a very large rally, at least 2,000 seats plus standing room for people. We're going to have doctors here from the summit. Obviously, Lee Gundis, Marine Steel, who's one of the primary organizers for the convoy, Brian Bracey, and various others that will be there to speak tomorrow. It's going to be an incredible time. There's so many people coming together for the cause of freedom.
I'm looking at these pictures you shared on your Facebook from your helicopter friend who got photos of this long line of trucks, kind of overhead photos. That's a pretty big line. And I'm wondering where the network news helicopters are on this, right? Are you guys getting much attention from the network media?
Yeah, that's what's really interesting. There's very little attention from the network media. They don't want to cover this. This doesn't fit the narrative that they've been trying to push. By last count, when we were in Oklahoma, the convoy was over 30 miles long with 7,000 vehicles. That was the official count that came in from the Oklahoma State Highway Patrol. So to say that this is a fringe movement or a right-wing movement would be completely false. I've met people from every race, a background, different nationalities are here, Republican, Democrat, gay, straight. It's just incredible. Like, everyone's coming together because we all realize that without our freedoms, we're going to lose everything. And so everyone's here to stand up and make a change.
So, today is Joe Biden's first State of the Union address. What's your message to President Biden today?
Well, what the truckers are asking for is, first of all, the removal of emergency powers. All of these things are doing to us, the mandates, the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, and all of it are possible because of the emergency powers that the government, currently has. And so, first of all, we need to do away with that, do away with the mandates, both vaccine and masks. And also another issue that's on the table is the vaccine passports. That's something that they're pushing really hard. They're pushing it at the airlines. They're pushing it on a state-by-state level. And this is something that absolutely needs to go away because what they ultimately want to do with that is install a social credit score system, just basically similar to what they have in China. And it's really important that the American people wake up to what's happening here. If they're able to install a COVID passport, your freedoms as you know them, it's game over.
Oh my gosh. Well, just today, the White House announced they're dropping the mask mandate right before Biden's State of the Union. So maybe they're listening to you guys.
Yeah, they should listen because this isn't just the truckers and the people that are with them right now. This is the entire country that's standing up against this president. He's highly unpopular, which is just evident. I've traveled all the way from California. I'm now coming up on Indianapolis. I can tell you that the overpasses, almost every single overpass has had people with flags on the overpasses. I mean, there have been fire departments, EMS, other EMS vehicles, police departments have come out to support us. Obviously, this convoy is highly popular with the American people. You can't tell me that Biden has the support of this nation.
Yeah, you just heard a sound. I'm playing video right now from the route from Brian Brace's Facebook. Pretty big showing of support, it seems. Now, why did you guys decide not to show up on State of the Union Day? You're gonna show up what on the 5th instead in DC? And I'm hearing those trucks where you're at now. A lot of support.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was actually my cousin going past.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, we decided not to show up for the State of the Union or actually even go into D.C. because, we saw what happened at January 6th. And that's not something that we can allow to happen here. We have to be very careful. We know that the federal government is probably just salivating at the opportunity to create another false flag and to essentially paint these truckers as terrorists, but they absolutely are not. They're very kind people. I've met so many amazing people, at these rallies and in this convoy. So we're being very careful to make sure that we protect the integrity of what we're doing. We're completely peaceful, 100% law-abiding. There's been absolutely no trouble at all. It's just amazing. Everyone has been very well behaved. People come together to help each other, and it's the true American spirit that's over here.
Love that. Well, I know a lot of people are pretty scared to even demonstrate these days after January 6th. And even after seeing what happened in Ottawa. So all the best to you guys on your route. and keep me updated on how it goes. When exactly do you land in DC again?
All of those details will be posted on the website, so people can go to thepeoplesconvoy.org. And just follow that every day for the most recent updates. Depending on traffic and weather and other various things, it could vary by a day or two. But if you just follow the website, every single morning that website's updated, so you'll know exactly what we're doing that day and the following day.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Josh Yoder, and we'll be in touch. Talk to you later.
Hey, thank you so much, Ivory. Have a great evening.
Okay, you too. Bye. Okay, I want to show you guys a little video from the Freedom Convoy USA, who, like I said, their members ended up merging with the People's Convoy. It wasn't initially the plan, but as they were both on their routes across the US, they all just kind of merged together. And while the Freedom Convoy was going to go more quickly across the US in time to land in DC today, now that those people are part of the People's Convoy, that they're going more slowly. They're taking stops to do rallies, the big rally in Indiana tomorrow. But one of the original organizers of Freedom Convoy USA, he had gotten a permit for a rally in DC today. And since he got that permit, he decided to go through with the rally in DC. Anyway, I want to show you the soundbite from him and see what he's up to.
People of the United States of America. This message is for the people of the United States of America. My name is Kyle Sefcik, and I told you that I'd be honest and transparent from the start, so here's your update. The Freedom Convoy USA 2022 has dissolved, and it's joined a much larger convoy making its way through the country. I do not speak for them, but we stand with them, and I encourage you to do the same. Ever since I launched that video last week addressing the convoys and a protest here on the National Mall, I've been interrogated, I've been censored, I've been harassed and accused by federal government agencies, especially when it came to the permit here for the National Mall. I want everybody listening to know that I will still be here March 1st, the day of the State of the Union address, exercising my First Amendment right to protest the mandates and protest to end the state of emergency that has allowed our government to have so much power and control over us more than ever. The last time a true movement made a difference in this country was the peaceful civil rights movement of the 1960s. And the reason they were so successful is because people like you and me put aside their livelihoods to exercise and express and fight for their God-given rights. This last 2 years alone, we've watched churches, schools, families, and more fall away from God, living in fear as their liberties, as their freedoms in the Bill of Rights have been stripped away. So I'm calling out you leaders, influencers, Christians, government officials, common peasants that keep talking about what needs to be done, but you haven't done anything. You keep criticizing our efforts of trying to make a better future for our children, but you're not doing anything. You need to join a convoy or meet us here on the National Mall March 1st. If you're going to say you're an American, do something.
Boom. Yeah, a lot of people are all up in arms on social media, but they're not doing anything. So this man got a permit to go out and exercise his First Amendment rights, and he was daring the rest of Americans to come on out there. Come on out there themselves. Freedom Convoy USA 2022 on Instagram. The People's Convoy, like he said, his convoy dissolved into the People's Convoy. So now they're one convoy going across the U.S. Huge line of vehicles. Thepeoplesconvoy.org. I have linked it down below. You can track their route, and if you want to join their route as it gets to your state, I guess all that info is down below. But Kyle Sefcik seems like a fearless patriot. I guess he's an MMA fighter who's now running for office. I want to show you though. So he organized that rally for today, but because a lot of his people dissolved into the People's Convoy, apparently it's a small crowd, according to the Washingtonian.com covering it. The pro-trucker convoy rally is another failure for far-right demonstrators in D.C., it reads. But after January 6th, authorities have little choice but to take these things seriously. So I guess this is a photo of his rally that he had gotten the permit for, and apparently it's a pretty small crowd there today. Most of those protesters are still making their way across the nation. So this article is basically saying, yeah, these right-wing people are bad at organizing and they're losing their message because the mandates are actually being stripped away day by day. More and more of these mandates are being stripped away. So it's like, why are you guys still doing the convoy? Well, that's wonderful that the convoy is still being stripped away. Ooh, there's a lot of trigger words in that article that YouTube is going to punish me for, so I better not scroll through. But look, it's fantastic that we are seeing some of these mandates strip away. As recently as the White House saying, I guess it was just published yesterday, that they will be dropping that mask mandate for Biden's State of the Union. Hallelujah, guys. I just cannot wait to get rid of this freaking mask mandate on planes. I've traveled a lot this past year. And I'm tired of the airports calling it a law. Have you guys noticed that in your airports? Many of these airports say over the loudspeaker that it is a law, it is federal law that you have to wear a mask, which is completely disinformation. The airports and the airlines are lying to you. I just flew with United and they kept sending me messages that it is law that I have to wear a mask. It's not law. The CDC actually passed a highly constitutionally questionable mandate that we wear these masks, which I'm quite confident would be thrown out in court if we actually took them to court, which the state of Texas is actually doing. Lo and behold, as state of Texas sues the federal government over the mask mandate on planes, they are now announcing that this month, happy March 1st, this month, they are going to finally get rid of that mask mandate on planes, allegedly. Pretty exciting stuff. But we've got a new catastrophe just in the nick of time. We've got the war in Ukraine. And it's really hard to tell what's really going on in Ukraine. There is, I see all these images out of Ukraine, right? Like these perfect shots of like the president of Ukraine and of that beauty pageant girl with her gun, and it's like, why is this war so like photogenic? And it's like, how much of this is propaganda? If you actually check, if you have Snapchat, you can zoom in on Snapchat maps and see what the people on Snapchat are actually snapping from the ground level of Ukraine. And a lot of people have been Snapchatting just their view from a basement. A lot of people just hunkering down, preparing for possible bombs. So tons of people packed into basements. If you check Snapchat maps, which is way more reliable than some of these picture perfect media images that we're getting, that I'm like, dude, I do not trust that is not just completely fabricated propaganda. But it's a really horrifying thing that's happening over there. And since the media is absolutely consumed with it, I'm going to focus in on North America and what's happening here. With that being said, I think that wraps up our show. So the convoy is big, it's successful. The media is not paying attention to it. It's on its way to the DC area. They're going to arrive in the DC area, I believe, March 5th. They do not plan to go to the Capitol, is what they last told me, because they don't want anything resembling January 6th, because they are afraid that the federal government will come after them. A lot of people are very afraid to exercise their First Amendment rights right now, but just want to remind you guys, the First Amendment is still intact. And while we may have a frightening group of people leading us right now who don't really respect our Constitution, I think we still need to have the courage to exercise our constitutional rights. and fight to preserve them if we have leaders who try to undermine those rights. So all the best to these people who are peacefully assembling and petitioning their government for redress of grievances. All right, guys. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to go record for Next News Network. I'm still partnering with Gary Franchi over on his YouTube. So check out my YouTube videos that are going to be coming out from Next News Network. That's what I'm doing for the rest of the day. Have a good one.